Students, in this morning's devotion, I'm in my house's sitting room. So in the old days, your family homes often had like a living room and a sitting room where you drink your tea. So this used to be my grandpa's house. He's now renting it to myself and my wife and I. Yeah, we always joke about how this is an old person room. Anyway, moving on. This morning's devotion, might have noticed that I've got a painting behind me. Um, so if you look closely, you might notice that it's actually a painting that's been painted by some Indigenous artists. Yeah, so it looks like a traditional Aboriginal artwork, maybe with just some maybe different uses of color and maybe some more modern techniques. So it's actually part of something that was called the God's Dreaming artwork series. So the point of this was dreaming is the idea, the Aboriginal idea of telling stories and telling morals and teaching people through stories. So this was made by a bunch of Christian Aboriginals who wanted to tell God's story, the story of the Bible, and do it through art. So what I want you to do is I want you to write between 3 and 5 sentences of what story you think that this is teaching, and I want you to explain how is this picture telling that story. So as an example, if you feel like this is telling the story of Jesus's resurrection, it's not, but let's pretend that's what you thought it was. Then you might need to say, well, I think the blue represents the nighttime when Jesus had died, and the yellow represents his resurrection on the third day, something like that. So you explain how this picture represents that. Before you do that, it will be important to look in the images below to see a key to see well, what does some of these represent. So as an example, this symbol here represents something. So there's some common things that are in a lot of Indigenous artworks that you will go into lots of artworks. And as well is I'll actually explain what the story is afterwards. So I'd like you actually to pause the video now so you don't cheat. Okay, hopefully you've paused the video by now. If you haven't, then oh well, just be honest. So here's what the story is representing. It's actually telling you the story of Genesis chapter 1. So in the beginning in the beginning God created heavens and the earth. So we can see that the world is void. There's nothing in here, and we start here. So we have the separation of the light and the darkness. And then we have some more like heaven stuff, and we have the separation of the water and the sky, and then we have vegetation, and then here we have the stars in the sky and things like that. And then here we have all of the birds in the air and the fish in the sea. And then on the 6th day, we have the animals that live on the land. And if you zoom in on your own photo that you have at home, you'll see there's lots of actual animals in here, and you have these two U-shaped people, and the gold dots in the middle represent they're humans with God inside them, with the Holy Spirit inside them. So they're human with the Spirit. Yeah, God breathed his life into them. And actually over here, these are used with the line through them that they are angels. And the ones that are jagged, they're devils. So they're opposite the angels. So it's also sort of picturing this battle going on. Anyway, so hopefully you enjoyed this morning's devotion. And sorry, I accidentally left the main point out. So this big symbol here, the big one is God the Father, and then if he's facing us over here, then on his right, on our left, would be Jesus, so God the Son, and then the Holy Spirit. And you can see the dots through to show that they're again holy, they're righteous. So that's what this story represents. I look forward to reading your 3 to 5 sentences of what you thought it was before you paused it.